I'm going to ask you a question. Can we rely on the psychology that enslaved us to save us? Can we rely on the psychology that enslaved us to save us? Well, that was the question I asked myself when I hit rock bottom and then found a layer beneath that. But how did I get there? Picture this: a girl from a poor part of Manchester, not far from here, so poor, Save the Children have a team dedicated to that area. Or is it just my street? Child of immigrants from Jamaica, the Windrush generation who came to this country to rebuild it after the Second World War, who I call the pioneers or our pioneers, gets to be a doctor of clinical psychology at the age of 28. Life was good. I had the house, I had the car, I had the dream job. So what could go wrong? Well, everything. My dad died, my mum died, then I nearly died of cancer, all in a short space of time. But thankfully, I got the help and I stand here today. But what was the psychology, the way of thinking that I drew upon when I needed it most? Was it the psychology of the people who enslaved my ancestors? Or was it a different psychology? African psychology. But if we rewind a little bit, a few years earlier, I was successful in gaining a Churchill Fellowship to go to America to study African psychology. I sat at the feet of the people who'd written the books that were on my bookshelf, and I learned from them. But what is African psychology, I hear you ask? Well, African psychology looks at the experiences of people of African ancestry and global majority people. So, for example, when white people travel, they usually go up in social and economic status and are seen as expats. When black people and people who are global majority travel, they usually go down in social and economic status before going up. That's if they do get to go up. And they're seen as migrants or called immigrants. So life just treats us differently. African psychology is a spiritual approach. It looks at the theories and the healing practices that kept our ancestors going through enslavement and colonization, and it looks at a sense of purpose, and it sees self-determination as essential for wellness. So when I was sick, what aspects of African psychology, because it's quite a broad subject, appealed to me? It was drawing on the energy of the ancient Egyptians, the Kemetic people. And as we all know, Egypt is on the continent of Africa. And there were three gods and goddesses that appealed to me most. The first was drawing on the energy of Tahuti. Tahuti, the god of knowledge, the god of wisdom, the god of teaching. So what could I learn and what could I teach? While I was in my hospital bed, I had time, and I started to learn more about African psychology. But I thought, I don't know a lot about it. But one of the courses I did said, teach what you know. And even if you know a little bit, you may know a bit more than somebody who doesn't know anything at all. So when I got well enough, I opened the first online school teaching African psychology. And we currently have just under 1,000 students signed up learning African psychology. So drawing on the energy of Tahuti. The second African god that I drew my energy from was Imhotep. Imhotep, the god of medicine, of healing, who predates Hippocrates by thousands of years. So after I spent time healing myself, I then put a lot of the healing techniques into a journal and developed an African-centered wellness journal, the first of its kind. The other thing I did with healing is I started to run emotional emancipation circles to help heal others, EEC, emotional emancipation circles. These were developed by the Association of Black Psychologists in conjunction with the Community Healing Network to help people of African ancestry heal from racial trauma. So drawing on the energy of Imhotep, how could I heal? And then how could I heal others? The third, the goddess that I drew my energy from, was the goddess Sekhmet. Sekhmet, how to be a warrior for good. I was struck by the murder of George Floyd by the very people that were meant to serve and protect him. I was struck by seeing students tearing down statues of the people who enslaved their ancestors, saying that I don't want to be re-traumatized just walking to a lecture to get educated. So when I became well enough, I put on the syllabus of doctorate in clinical psychology training courses, doctorate in educational psychology training courses, and doctorate in counselling psychology training courses in the UK, African psychology. So in the UK, at some universities, when practitioner psychologists study, they can learn a healing method that is rooted in the experiences of global majority people. So why am I telling you this here today? When the storms of life blow for you, and when the hurricanes happen for you, and you need to root so that you can rise, you need a psychology that you can call upon. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to teach you a technique that you can use to bring out the warrior in you. So if you're able to, please can you stand up? And if you're not able to, that's fine because we're just using our arms. So I will demonstrate it for you once, and then we can do it all together. So it's like this. Let us rise up on the shoulders of our good elders and draw down the wisdom of our good ancestors. So I now want you to say it with me, and it's up there, yeah, and really shout it out loud. Let us rise up on the shoulders of our good elders and draw down the wisdom of our good ancestors. And again, let us rise up on the shoulders of our good elders and draw down the wisdom of our good ancestors. And the last time, let us rise up on the shoulders of our good elders and draw down the wisdom of our good ancestors. Please sit down. How do you feel? Good. So why do I talk about our good elders? Why do I talk about our good ancestors? Not all our elders are good. Yeah, some of them just become old and become olders. Yeah? Some do not pass on the wisdom or do not gain any wisdom to pass on. So sometimes it's about choosing which elders we learn from or how we learn from them or the good parts of them that we learn from. Why do I talk about our good ancestors? Well, not all our ancestors were good. And sometimes they did the best they could with what they had. So it's choosing the good ancestors to learn from, or the good parts of them. So, as I bring my talk to a close today, I've got a question for you. When the storms of life and the hurricanes in life blow for you, where are you going to draw your energy from? Will it be Tahuti, what you can learn and what you can teach? Will it be Imhotep, how you can heal and how you can heal others? Or will it be Sekhmet, how you can be a warrior and who you can be a warrior for? Thank you.